Hey guys, Standard Style here of course with Dragonfire Gaming, and today we've got some Anno 2070 footage for you, where I defeat Keto, the warmongering third-party AI that enters the game after about 4 hours, depending on the difficulty of course. I have to say it was quite a challenge, but despite it taking 2 attempts, I did manage to defeat her by the skin of my teeth after about an hour. The footage is pretty good. I managed to cut out most of the crap, so you guys shouldn't be sitting here forever just watching me do random stuff. I will be talking periodically throughout the video to explain what's going on, but most of it's just going to be more focused about the footage. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully it can help you out a bit if you're thinking about attempting this on your own. Alright guys, to start us off here, we've got a couple of the battles that took place right as she arrived. This was most of her units seemed to come straight to this point here, and I kind of took them out with one big battle. This was really convenient actually, because it meant that her units were in pretty thin numbers for the rest of the hour period that it took me to defeat her, and in that case they were pretty easy to deal with, 1 or 2 at a time.
Warning. Building under enemy attack. Warning. Building under enemy attack.
Exactly. Shoot first, ask questions later.
So we've got just a quick change of scenery here. This is mostly just fights that ended up happening after the original fleet that came with her was defeated. So as you can see, they're mostly spread apart. They're in very few numbers, so there wasn't really much to deal with. Didn't really lose any ships or take really any damage at all during this time, so it was pretty convenient. I was able to continue with whatever I was doing, and just periodically, kind of tab out of that to get rid of these guys pretty much.
There are some people who are very, very...
So at this point, I decided I would go in and attack with my fleet, or what was left of it. We had lost a few of them in battle, just a couple, I believe. I think those are not in this clip, but I was interrupted by a couple of ships, but I figured I didn't really take enough damage for me to go all the way back and repair just a tiny little bit. So I went in. I wasn't really confident enough that I would defeat her with the fleet that I had there, so I believe I had some ships set to be built as soon as there was room in my fleet for that to happen, and so I was kind of assuming they would come in and save the day and finish her off. I was pretty ambitious, but what happened was not quite what I expected.
Alert. Registering attack on one of your vehicles. Command ship ready. Initiating control routines.
Why do I even come here if you ain't interested?
So right about here you'll see the start of attempt number 2. Now this was a successful attempt, mostly due to the fact that I went in with a much bigger advantage and with a much larger fleet. Now the first attempt unfortunately didn't make much of a difference. It didn't really help me much due to the fact that she regenerated about 3,000 of the 4,000 hit points that she lost from the first battle by the time I could get to her this time. So I managed to just barely defeat her with 2 ships left over, as you'll see in a moment. But without the first one, I will admit that I would have lost this attempt.
Command ship ready to go.
Just have
All systems online. Command ship ready. Command ship ready. Warning, vehicle under attack. Alert.
The co-op has grown so much. Would you mind if we spread out onto another island? Okay. I hope we're not taking on too much with this new settlement.
Coming up to the end here, you can see that it was quite close. As a matter of fact, I had a much better advantage this time, as well as more ships in the beginning, so it did help me a lot, but I did end up defeating her with a pretty good number of ships left. For what I had expected, I honestly thought I would be losing all of those and had to bring in some backup. But it went quite well, I have to say. She was a pretty formidable challenge, but she is dead now.
New quest confirmed. Loading data.
Just kind of towards the end of the video here, I should explain a couple of things. As far as difficulties go, I'm pretty sure Hector was on hard and Keto was on normal. I know you guys haven't seen the footage of me defeating Hector yet, but trust me, it's not nearly as exciting as the Keto footage. But I did start this game on hard with a buddy of mine, even though he was more of a bystander. He didn't really do much due to a rough time that he had with something. But I should explain that I did change a few settings, so it wasn't exactly perfect hard difficulty. So your results may vary if you do attempt to do the same thing that I did. Just keep in mind that I did change some things. Our whole goal in this was really just to defeat the two of them, or at least mine was. I wasn't really sure what his goals as far as his gameplay was going, but we weren't really looking for a real struggle. So I mean, it's not like we're playing power games. Which is a mission that's supposed to be insanely hard. It's got all the hostile third parties in it, and it's got extremely low resources and all that stuff. But so I did change a couple of things. I made sure that there weren't going to be any real struggles. There were some bumps along the road leading up to the actual event where I go and attack the two of them, one of them at a time, obviously. And they were minor at best. Nothing I really had a problem dealing with. It wasn't too bad to the point where it was really a crunch for time as far as when Keto actually arrived, because there is a timer. And so that kind of made the game a little bit easier on me. I didn't want to try and go in any real statistical nightmares as far as Anno goes. Those can get pretty bad, and I didn't want to encounter any of that. All we really wanted to do was get the engineers, the tier 3, so I can get the battleships and stuff like that. That's all I was really interested in, and it worked out quite well, I have to say. Alright guys, we're coming to the end of the video here. You can see I've defeated Hector. He was a little bit harder than I expected, to be honest with you. I didn't really realize he had so many turrets, especially on hard difficulty. Is something that I wasn't quite used to. And something you won't see in the footage is just the sheer amount of ships that he had before I went in and attacked him. He was building them up over a period of time that we were at peace, and so they just got to a massive number. I mean, there were like 20 of them, and I dealt with them rather swiftly, as you know, with all my ships in that fleet that I had, is about it took like a second to kill one of them, and they would put a few dents on a ship or two, but it wasn't really anything special. But yeah, as a result of both of these, you just have to go and search Keto's wreck with searchlights, and then for the other one, for Hector, you just have to pick up just some rubble left on the water, and for that you get blueprints of their ships. You get the attack ships that Keto has, as I've explained before, and the ships that Hector uses that run all over the place. And I have to say, for the achievements and for that, it was worth it, and for the fun as well. It's something that I really enjoyed. It was a rather different side of Anno that I haven't really seen too much of before, the war side. I spend most of my time on the statistical side of it, stabilizing things and all that. It can get quite tedious and quite fun, and it's plenty for a game besides the war side of it. So I can definitely appreciate that this game has an engaging side of both. The statistical side obviously being the much more in-depth, but the war side fun nonetheless. But last but not least, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Everybody from Dragonfire Gaming says hi, and if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, share it to your friends, and subscribe, of course, if you want to see more. I will be making more videos for this channel specifically. This is Standard Style, signing off.